I live in these white walls alone. No regard to where I'm going or where I'm coming from.
My vlogging spring break is over. We're back to sitting on the edge of my bed looking at my Habs decal. I started a new show, which I guess was sort of my goal in the spring break, was to get myself doing new things. So that's happening on my personal channel. Mostly, though, today I've been giving a lot of thought to the question that Brittany asked yesterday, which was, what do you do when you feel like a phony or a fraud? And damn if that's not a loaded question for me. I try not to talk about gender too much on the show, in part because I don't want to bore any viewers with my opinions and diatribes on the matter, and in part because I tried not to talk about it too much in my life. I don't think that it should be something that is so important that it bears on every waking moment of my existence. Unfortunately, it kind of does. Feeling like a phony or a fraud is something I've had to deal with a lot growing up, because I had absolutely no idea who I was supposed to be. I almost felt as though I were an interloper in the human race as a whole. I didn't feel as though I belonged to any particular group or community, and that's something that I still struggle with a lot. And that was for a bunch of different reasons. I was always a little bit weird. I always had interests that were highly divergent from the interests of my peers. And then there was the itty-bitty little thing of complete and utter discomfort in my assigned gender. When I was told to be a girl, that made me incredibly uncomfortable. I felt as though I was being forced to behave as though I were a member of a community that I felt I had no right to be a part of, and I didn't particularly want to be a part of, but I still felt as though I were being pigeonholed into that role. Which, as you can probably imagine, is not a lot of fun. When it eventually became clear to me which community I would rather be a part of, I still felt very ill at ease. Trying to insert myself into a group that I was told I was never going to be allowed into is not something that is easy and is not something that is comfortable. I feel like a fraud and a phony every single day, the minute I wake up. So how do I deal with that? Well, the answer for now is kind of that I don't. I pretend that I'm not having these problems. I try my very best to go about my day, and I try to tell myself that I'm not a fake. That everyone might see me as that, but that I'm simply doing my best to be as real as I can be. And oftentimes that will manifest in my doing things that appear artificial. You know, I work very hard to cultivate an outward appearance that will display the right message, rather than simply portraying myself as I am physically. And to a lot of people that will seem very fake, but I don't think that it is. I think that that artifice is what's required for me to express my identity, and I think there's nothing more real than that. I feel as though I have more to say, but I'm gonna leave it there for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm really just reusing old words and throwing them out again in new combinations and not really getting anything new across. And two, I feel like if I talk about this anymore, I am gonna get in a funk later, and I still need to help cook dinner. So I'm gonna leave you with that thought. I'm gonna be really interested in seeing what the rest of you guys have to say on this topic. I hope at least one of you guys has something a little less heavy to say than I did, because I don't want everybody to be depressed for the whole week thanks to me. So, see you next week. Have a good one.